The first time I saw the thing whispering into someone's ear, I thought I was going insane. But then I started seeing them everywhere, and no one would listen to me. I was on the subway, heading home after a day of visiting friends, when I first saw it. The train was packed, the air thick with the smell of sweat, and too many bodies crammed into too small a space. I was standing, holding onto the overhead rail, when I noticed a woman sitting across from me. She was young, maybe in her late 20s, with dark hair pulled back into a messy bun and earbuds in her ears. She was staring blankly ahead, lost in her own world when I saw it. A shadowy, twisted figure hunched over her, its mouth pressed against her ear, whispering something that made her eyes glaze over. The thing was almost invisible, its body like a shadow clinging to her, its face distorted and featureless, but its presence was palpable, a cold, suffocating weight in the air. I blinked, convinced that I was just tired, that my mind was playing tricks on me. But when I looked again, it was still there, whispering into her ear, its long, thin fingers brushing against her neck. Holy shit, I muttered under my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. I looked around, expecting someone else to react, to notice the thing hovering over the woman, but no one did. They just sat there, scrolling through their phones, reading their books, completely oblivious to the horror right in front of them. I wanted to say something, to shout, to warn her, but what the fuck could I say? Hey, there's a shadow whispering in your ear? I shook my head, trying to convince myself that it wasn't real, that I was just tired, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was horribly wrong. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I tried, I heard the whispering, a low, insidious sound that echoed in my mind, filling me with a sense of dread that I couldn't shake. I knew I needed to talk to someone, but who the hell would believe me? The next day, I saw it again. This time, it was following a man in a business suit, its body hunched over, its mouth pressed against his ear, whispering something that made his steps falter, his face pale. The man shook his head, as if trying to clear his thoughts, but the thing just pressed closer, its whispering growing more frantic, more desperate. I wanted to scream, to shout, to rip the thing off of him, but I was frozen in place, my heart pounding in my chest. No one else seemed to notice. People just walked by, their faces blank, their eyes glazed over, completely unaware of the horror unfolding right in front of them. Fuck, I whispered, my voice trembling. I couldn't take it anymore. I left work early, my mind racing, my hands shaking as I tried to make sense of what I had seen. I called my sister, the only person I thought might believe me. But when I tried to explain, she just laughed it off.
Come on, AC, you're just tired,
she said, her voice filled with concern.
You've been working too hard. You need to get some sleep.
No, you don't understand, I insisted, my voice trembling. These things, they're real. I can see them. They're whispering into people's ears, controlling them, doing something to them.
AC, listen to yourself. You're not making any sense. Please, just take a few days off, get some rest. You'll feel better, I promise.
I hung up the phone, frustration and fear bubbling up inside me. No one believed me. No one could see what I was seeing. I felt like I was going insane, but deep down, I knew it was real. I knew these things were out there, following people, whispering dark secrets into their ears, and no one else could see it. The sightings became more frequent. I saw the things everywhere, on the subway, in the grocery store, at the park. They were always the same, dark, twisted figures, featureless faces, hunched over people, whispering into their ears, controlling them, manipulating them. I tried to ignore them, tried to convince myself that it was all in my head, but it was impossible. The things were always there, always whispering. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't focus on anything except the next sighting, the next person who would fall victim to the whispering ones. One night, as I was walking home from the store, I saw it again. This time, it was following a young girl, maybe 12 or 13, her eyes wide and frightened as she walked down the empty street. The thing was hunched over her, its mouth pressed against her ear, whispering something that made her steps falter, her face pale.
Hey! Get away from her!
The girl turned, her eyes filled with fear, but the thing didn't let go. It clung to her, its whispering growing more frantic, more desperate, as if it were trying to drown out my voice.
Get the fuck away from her!
I screamed, grabbing the girl's arm and pulling her away. The thing let out a low, guttural hiss, its featureless face twisting into a grotesque grin, and then it was gone, disappearing into the shadows as if it had never been there. The girl stared at me, her eyes wide with fear and confusion.
What was that?
Her voice trembling. I don't know, I replied, my heart pounding in my chest. But you're safe now. I walked her home, my mind racing with fear and confusion. The whispering ones were real, and they were everywhere, following people, whispering dark secrets into their ears, controlling them. And no one else could see them. No one but me? I tried telling the police, but they thought I was making it up for attention. My friends and family said I was just tired, stressed out, that I needed to get some rest. But I knew the truth. I knew the whispering ones were out there, watching, waiting, whispering their dark secrets into the ears of the unsuspecting.